This is the second video in a series dedicated towards building to defend against explosives by way of attrition. By that I mean the best passive defense is one that is expensive to raid. In the first video we looked at simple designs using foundations, walls, and fence foundations, and then increased the design complexity. In this video we will continue using those pieces to make even more defensible structures. So just a heads up of what to look forward to in this series. The next several videos will cover how to defensively place doors, hatch covers, ceilings, and even experiment with unique pieces like drawbridges and elevators. In the first video, we dealt exclusively with square-shaped foundations. This time, we will introduce the wedge. The wedge is special in that it allows fence foundations to be placed both at right angles and at 45-degree angles. Remember in the first video, we would create 3 layers on a square foundation using fence foundations. Using that same concept, we can create various layers on a wedge. A total of 4 fences can be placed onto a single wedge. You can see we have a combination of right angles and 45-degree options. When we add a couple more wedges, we can now outline a square. You can start to see the basis for a very defensible wall. Let's start with adding fence foundations. The building mechanics can be somewhat unpredictable at times, but what I found works best is placing all the right angle pieces first and then filling in the gaps with the angled pieces. The explosive damages the first wall, but doesn't penetrate through to the rest of the walls. It would take 9 explosives to destroy the first fence, 9 more to destroy all 3 middle fences, and a final 9 to destroy the back fence for a total of 27 explosives. Let's swap out fences for walls. Remember from the previous video, we don't need a foundation once we have the fence foundations in place. So you can use something cheap like sandstone and then destroy afterwards. But once you remove the foundation, you can't put it back, so plan ahead. The walls behave the same way as fence foundations, only the first wall takes damage. It would take 21 total explosives to destroy this defense. We can further increase the complexity by adding a middle fence foundation. The first explosive only damages the first wall. After 9 explosives, it is destroyed. The next explosive will only damage one of the angled walls and the adjacent wall. After 9 more explosives, these pieces will be destroyed. The biggest benefit of this setup is that it blocks damage to the middle fence foundation. It'll take 9 more explosives to destroy this one, along with 2 more fences. Finally, it'll take 9 explosives to destroy the back wall. The total count is 36 explosives. We could try to add slightly more defense by using a pillar. Unfortunately, after the first wall is destroyed, the pillar also begins to take damage, so it doesn't affect the total explosives count. At this point it seems that we've exhausted our options with the wedge foundation, but there's still more that we can do. When we place fence foundations, you may notice that there are 2 different placement options for a fence that is perpendicular to a fence along the edge. It can either overhang or be flush. We can use that to our advantage in the following way. Set up the wedge foundations and have each perpendicular fence piece hang over the tip of each triangle. Alternate which side hangs over from wedge to wedge. Now try to place a fence piece along the outside of the wedges. You'll notice that this creates 2 options for the fence placement. One flush with the wedge and one slightly away from it. With this setup you can place 2 flush fence foundations, and with that 2 flush walls above it. You can place 2 walls, 2 fences, or a wall and a fence together. But let's see if they handle damage the same way. First up, double fence foundations. In this setup, both fences take full damage, so it's not effective. It will take only 9 explosives to penetrate this. Next, double walls. In this setup, the first wall blocks damage to the second wall. It would take 14 explosives to penetrate this. Now, let's put a fence on the inside and a wall on the outside. Both the wall and fence take damage, so it's not effective. It would only take 9 explosives to destroy this. And finally, let's move the wall to the inside and the fence to the outside. The fence actually blocks damage to the wall, so it'll take 16 explosives to penetrate this defense. Using what we know now, let's combine it with our original design. Lay out all the foundation pieces. Remember to start with the right angle pieces. Then be sure to add walls to the inner layers and fill in the rest of the positions with fence foundations. Side note, if the game ever prevents you from building and gives you a cannot place message, just build something somewhere else and then destroy that piece, then come back and you will be able to place the original piece. Let's blow it up. The first fence blocks all the damage behind it, so 9 explosives to destroy this piece. The wall also blocks damage to the pieces behind it except for the 2 outside fences. It takes 7 explosives to destroy this wall. Now, it'll take 9 explosives to destroy one of the angled fences and the adjacent fence. After this, it'll take 9 explosives to destroy the middle fence and the final angled fence. This leaves a wall and a fence as the final layer for a total of 7 plus 9 more explosives. The grand total is 50 explosives to penetrate this defense. I hope this has been helpful. As I mentioned in the intro, in the next videos we'll take a look at how we can make doors, ceilings, and hatches more defensible. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.